All right, Dr. Shan, we're doing this in one take. Don't judge us. We're doing the same project everyone else in the class did. I'm Trevor Galusha. This is Trevin Regal, my beautiful partner. Let's start talking about our name, why we chose it. We chose our team name 7 because when you told us to come up with a name, we completely forgot to do it. So, and also, another cool fact about it was when rolling 2 dice, 7 is statistically the most common outcome, which is kind of neat. Alright, let's go to our second point. One of the points of this project was to talk about the project budget estimates. You gave us our Oklahoma City project that you gave us all the data, I guess, for. And from that data, we're able to estimate what Dallas and St. Louis, what that same project would be at different years, different sizes, and different locations. And we can see what the equations we used right here for the time index, location index, which we got from the RS means, as noted here, and from the size index, just proposed project over OKC project. All right, going from there, here's the data everyone in the class was given, about $3.2 million for the Oklahoma project, and here's the project specifics for each building and the lot size. So based off of that, we were able to come up with the Dallas project, which we got to be about $4.6 million based on occurring 4 years after Oklahoma City at about 3% interest. And again, here's the project specifics for that. Also, based off Oklahoma City again, we were able to come up with St. Louis, about 3.6 million, kind of what everybody else in the class was getting, if they were doing it, as correct as we were. All right, so our next point was to develop a work breakdown structure, just using all 60 work packages you gave us. From that, I'm not going to go too much into detail. Everyone did them a little different. We had site work, we had, what's the next one? On-site utilities, maintenance building A. You can see our subcategories. Everyone's did a little different. Ours is the most correct, it's fine. Here's building B, project management, procurement, and that was pretty much it for that. Let's go to point number 4. And then now getting into the specifics of the project, we developed a Gantt chart and activity on node diagram, which Trevin will start talking about.
Yeah, I'll take over from here. So our Gantt chart here, we went ahead and got all of our WBS numbers in here. We did it in 2 clips. There's a lot of work package information. All 60 of them we're not going to fit on and still have a legible image. Here our critical path is in red all the way through. This is in finish to start diagram. So here all the way through, you'll see our critical path follow straight through to the end here. And then we also have ourselves the precedence network diagram. Now here I included a zoomed in shot of how we decided to format each of these boxes. We have the name, and then we actually included the work breakdown structure number as well. And then the rest of it's the same as we did in lab. So we have our early start, early finish, late start, late finish, total float, free float, all throughout, just like we have in the past. Same as the other, red is going to show us our critical path. And it also took 2 snips to get this one in. So here all the way through, our project shows to be ended on 3/3/21, which here's our high level view of the back half of the work breakdown structure on this precedence network diagram, and there's our zoomed in on the final. And you can see the critical path coming in one side and a non-critical path coming in the other. So on the weekly cost breakdown. Here we've got the late start weekly costs and the early start weekly costs. The difference here is you can see with an early start weekly cost, we're tackling each problem in the project early as they happen. So we're going to throw a lot more money at it in the early stages of the project, whereas the late start, you'll see you have a lot more blue here than you do orange, because toward the end is when you're having to tackle those problems in the project. So this is just a simple histogram showing the difference in the cost as the project goes on week by week. So here, cost versus time for the varying schedules here. We have our early start and late start, which is a lot like I talked about in the other section, where early start will be more expensive and have more costs early on, but as it continues, the late start will catch up with it. And here we also have a target schedule, which is just going to be our early start and our late start added together and divided by 2. And that's going to be what in theory you want to be spending throughout the entirety of the project, if you're not trying to go for an early or late start. Okay, now resource allocation. When we're scheduling a project, we have resource allocation and the ability to schedule projects. The following slides are going to show the problem we run into whenever we have a worker limit of 30 workers and we have so many different activities going on. Sometimes you'll run into a case where you might need 35 workers and you can't do that. So we had to adjust. So here is our, before we leveled off the resources, I went, I think 2 or 3 months at a time on these, so there should be 6 total SNPs working its way through. But you'll notice here, all the red on these charts is going to be times when the amount of workers has exceeded the 30 that we were allotted. All the way through. The back end of the project was fine. There wasn't a big resource allocation issue. But after we level it, you'll see there's no more red. It's going to lengthen the project a little bit, but you have to move things around to get what you need done without overusing workers. So as we go through, you'll notice there is a much higher worker usage in the middle of the project, and then working its way down on either side, in an attempt not to have a big influx of employees one day and then gone the next. Then here at the end of our resource allocation, I went ahead and marked out the initial project before allocation was leveled was 3.321, and after allocation was 4.621. This means that after leveling the workers, it did add about a month and 3 days to our project duration. So now our earned value system analysis for October 31st of 2020. We're looking at our BCWP, our BCWS, and our ACWP. Looking at this, you'll see, and this graph shows it very well, it's a good representation. We are actually under budget and a little behind schedule here, as noted by this dip in the graph. But overall, things in the project seem to be going smooth, and we're much more under budget than we are behind schedule. Do you have any questions? I mean, probably not, because
You're not here.
You're just watching on a video, but feel free to catch me sometime and ask me a question about it. Thanks.